So this is the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and this is in the hazel color option. This is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra in my titanium gray. In this episode, we're going to compare the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL to the S24 Ultra in a speed test. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Coming off the heels of the iPhone 15 Pro Max speed test, I was interested in seeing how Pixel 9 Pro does against the S24 Ultra, and many of you have commented you wanted to see this. So let's begin with the boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now keep in mind that the Google Pixel usually boots up faster than every other phone I try. So I wouldn't be surprised. You see that little Gemini logo there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it wins out here once again, and it does. So Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, super fast to boot up. Really, really love that. The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, a couple seconds, like 3, 4, 5 seconds behind. So not quite as fast, but definitely what's nice about these is they're both super large Android phones. But you have options here. You can have your curved corners if you go with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, or you can have your squared body on the S24 Ultra with a built-in S Pen. So I just love how different these are and the options they give to you guys, the consumers out there, if you want to pick whatever you like. There's so many great options of phones these days, but the Pixel 9 Pro XL definitely booted up first. All right, so let's talk about the biometrics. This would be the unlocking, and I moved the Pixel 9 Pro XL over here for this just because I don't have my left thumb set up on that one, but you can see both of these kind of have fingerprints in the same locations. They get in very nicely. Now with the Pixel though, I wasn't able to unlock it with the screen black or turned off. So I kind of got to either give it a little lift there and then go in, or give it a little tap there and then go in. Not a big deal. But I noticed with the S24 Ultra, I can just do it like that with the screen off. So unless I'm missing something, let me know. But the S24 Ultra, from a fingerprint perspective, can get in a little faster due to that not having to wake the screen. Now, I also found that the face unlocks are nice on both of these, with the Pixel having a pretty nice animation when you go in. You can see it just kind of has this nice little flying in effect. The S24 Ultra, also, you can bypass the lock screen on this one. And both of these do have the ability to set up a... You can set up this feature where like it'll just unlock and then you have to swipe to unlock it, kind of like what they do on the iPhone. I'm not a fan of that. I like going right into the phone. So both of these pretty similar on the face unlock, but the S24 Ultra is a little faster just because with the fingerprint, just because you can unlock it with the screen totally off. So both of them very good here and pretty similar in unlocking though. All right, so general software speed for the Pixel is very nice. It's snappy, it's fluid, it's efficient. I quite like it. I also like the icons up here, or just the way these quick toggles look. They definitely match the camera bar on the rear. It's pretty cohesive. I really like the way this looks. And overall, I feel like Pixel is definitely one of the smoother, nicer looking Android phones out there. Snappy and smooth. That's just how I would define that one. Now, Samsung has come a long way. They've really been going to town with the animations, non-linear, making the overall software smoother. And it's just a much more of a joy to use a Samsung phone these days than it used to be. So I would say smooth-wise, they're both very, very good here in their general day-to-day software. I don't think any customer is going to have a major problem with either. Some people are saying that their phones slow down over time. I don't see that happening anymore. My Samsung phones from a couple years ago still run very well. So I don't feel like that's a big issue anymore. Generally, the software is good on both. Both of these are running Android 14 as of the recording of this video. And you can see this is going to have the Snapdragon. So the CPU is clocked higher there for the S24 Ultra. Over here we have the Tensor G4, which is clocked a little bit lower in the clock speeds, but it's definitely a chip more designed for AI. The Samsung also has AI as well. This has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and this has 12 on the Samsung. So the Pixel has one up over the S24 Ultra with the RAM department. All right, guys, so here we are at the app portion of this speed test where we launch some applications. We'll start over here with the calendars. And you could see that was faster for the S24 Ultra. And if I call any of these wrong, you could tell me in the comments, you called that one wrong. It's okay. You know, I'm not perfect. Let's go into clock. And you could see a little faster on the right. And these do have stock animations on. I know you can go in developer options and make them faster, but not everybody's doing that. That's not how they come stock out of the box. I like to do my speed test stock out of the box. I'll maybe do a second speed test with the animations off, but I'll have to put that in the title of some sort or put in the description. Let's go into calculator. That animation was faster on the Samsung. Let's go into, I actually like both of these calculators though. They both are really nice. Good history, good support for some calculating feature. And we're gonna go into weather now on both of them. And that was pretty much the same. The Pixel does have a nice new animation. Like, look at how it shows the city behind you. It showcases like these little widgets and stuff, so you can like move these around. This is a really neat new weather app for the Pixel, whereas the Samsung one has kind of been similar for years. So I kind of like that new Pixel weather app. What do you guys think? Let's go into Google News on both. And I think the Pixel was loading that first. And the headlines first on the S24 Ultra, first on the S24 Ultra there. We'll do the scrolling speed later. Let's do Play Store. Faster on the left. That was loading up apps though. Let's do games. Faster on the left. Offers. Faster on the Pixel. And scrolling through, pretty good. We'll go into Instagram. That was loading faster on the right. And you can see once in, no major issues for either. We'll go into, there was a little stuttery animation there on the Pixel right there. Did you see that? Let's go into profile. You can see scrolling through, very good. And we'll go, I have to turn it incognito. Hold on, I'll do YouTube in a second. All right, so let's open up YouTube here. You guys call that one, I didn't even see it. We're gonna go over here to this section right here and we'll go to trending. Pretty equal. Let's go back. Let's do another section. How about music? I think that was the S24 Ultra. I mean, these are by milliseconds. Let's go into Amazon. I think that was the S24 Ultra. We'll go into eBay. S24 Ultra there. Let's go into Groupon. That one loaded first on the S24 Ultra. We'll go to things to do. And you'll see that was close. Let me know what happened there. We'll go into Dead Trigger 2 in the game. So a lot of people like to prefer the Snapdragon CPUs for the games. Is that what's going to happen? It looks like the S24 Ultra was loading to play first. And once in, no major issues. What's really nice is that these are both very large displays, 6.8 inches on both. The Samsung, though, with its squared aspect feels a little bigger to me. Also, the aspect ratio looks a little wider on the Samsung. The Pixel's like really tall and it's not narrow, but it's definitely not as wide as the S24 Ultra feeling. So I think for a bigger screen, I would go with the S24 Ultra. But the Pixel this is like the largest Pixel I've ever seen. So this is a big boy as well. If you love large screens and you love Pixel devices, this is a high recommend here. Somebody has the volume on. I think it's the Pixel. Once in the games though, it's really, really great on both of them. Let's go into Free Fire. We'll see what happens here. Is the S24 Ultra in the lead, or is the Pixel going to take this? You can see the S24 Ultra with the win, Pixel behind a little bit. We'll go into PUBG Mobile. And pretty good here for, see how this one does right here, and then we'll see how this one does right here. So this one in the lead so far, getting closer to that lobby. Here is the Crafton logo, checking for updates. S24 Ultra with the win. I mean, come on. That one was very obvious. You can see, look where we're at. We're waiting on the Pixel. So Pixel taking a little bit of time here. And some people know that the Pixel phone hasn't been always the top choice for gaming, but you don't always buy the Pixel for gaming. I buy the Pixel for the AI, for the Google Power user. It's just great for that. It's even better than the Samsung for that, I think, for just pure Google experience, because you don't have all those Samsung apps on top of the experience. So I think it's a cleaner experience if you're using Google services. Let's go into Speed Test Net. And pretty good. We'll go into InShot. I think that was the right. Geekbench. I think that was the right again. We'll go into 3D Mark. And I think that was a Samsung again. So the Samsung, I feel like it has snappier base animations, not even putting on the faster animations and settings, developer options. I feel like the Samsung looks a little snappier with its non-linear animations over here. The Google Pixel did very good as well, though both of them are not really going to give you any issues with your day-to-day performance usage. Both of them load apps very well, and the scrolling is pretty similar because both of these are based on Android. So they're both Android phones at the end of the day. So these are pretty tight, pretty close experience on both. It's just a clean Google experience versus a very feature-packed Galaxy experience with Samsung and Google apps and all the top hardware in the business over here on the S24 Ultra. So you take your pick. Let's check the RAM management. So let's test the RAM management. We'll start with the Pixel over here. And I was very impressed in my first speed test with the Pixel. This phone having 16 gigs of RAM held literally everything open. And I would like to see a little bit of smoothing out on these return to the home screen animations on some of those landscape applications. But overall, look at this. This thing doesn't reload anything. Very good. Now, the 16 gigs of RAM, as I mentioned in my first test, is more designed for the Pixel to get really great AI experiences with Gemini and like the screenshots feature over here. All the built-in AI stuff over here is really going to help you out a lot in those elements. And Gemini, obviously. So when you're using these things, this is where that 16 gigs of RAM comes into play. And let me close those apps now so it's fair. But you can see if I go through these guys and I just kind of go back into the application, it was paused and right where it was. So we don't have any reload issues here. So this gives it more of a high-end feel, I feel like, because some of these phones that are cheaper, this is where they tend to struggle. And if you're a power user using a bunch of applications, this is just going to give you a much nicer experience day to day. Let's check the Samsung now. So I was hoping that Samsung would have thrown 16 gigs of RAM on the S24 Ultra, but they still haven't put 16 gigs of RAM on their phones yet. However, it seems to be still performing well with 12. It's just the Pixel 8 Pro had 12 gigs of RAM. So I hope the next S20 series, like the S25, gets the S25 Ultra gets 16 gigs of RAM. But with the Good Lock module I have enabled, I can come out of landscape very smoothly on the S24 Ultra. As you can see right there, I can come out really smooth. So I do think the going through the applications with the Good Lock enhancement definitely looks smoother here on the Samsung. And if we scroll through, you'll see everything holds very well in the background, and 12 gigs of RAM with the Snapdragon CPU that's on board. This still enables a lot of great features you can use in the Galaxy AI section. So where is that at? It's somewhere over here, advanced features. So all of the advanced intelligence that is available for the Samsung, this has plenty of RAM, plenty of power to run this. It's been running all this stuff very good all year long for me. So both phones do really good in this department, but I do feel like Google is really pushing the envelope when it comes to AI. So that's a really, really good phone for that stuff. All right, so I want to do a quick scrolling test on both phones. We'll start with the Pixel just to kind of see how it scrolls. So very fast, as I shown in my first video. It's so fast, in fact, you probably can't even see what's on board there. If I go through the main feed on Instagram, it's a common app. Very good. It takes a second to load up the next feed, but very good there overall. You can also slow the scroll down just by using your finger slowly. So that's pretty good. Let's check YouTube, and you're going to see pretty much the same scrolling across the board. We'll go to trending here. Same thing here. If we swipe over, pretty good. I also feel like Google is one of the better experience on the Pixel going to their Google page over here because it's more of a simple, cleaner, vanilla software over here. So this looks pretty smooth as well. So that gives you kind of an idea of the scrolling experience on board here for the Pixel. Let's take a look at the Samsung. All right, guys, so we'll start over here on Instagram just as we did with the Pixel, and you'll see here as I scroll through, just like the Pixel, this is also Android, so it takes a second to open up the feed over there, and you see the scrolling very fast, similar to like what you see on the Pixel. You can also slow it down with a nice scroll there. Scrolling through the home screen, very good. Let's go into show you the Google page over here. This also does very well on the Samsung. Although I feel like sometimes when I have this mode enabled, the Samsung News, let me turn that on for a second. That can take a little longer. You see how it's a little bit slower there? And that's funny because that's Samsung's own news app. I know it's loading up a bunch of content, but it's just a little slower sometimes than that Google feed over there. So let's go into YouTube now and we'll take a look at the similar thing we looked at over there. Very good. If I go here to trending, very good, very fast scrolling there as well. And you'll see just the general scrolling experience feels very much the same on both these phones. You're going to be very happy, I think, with the scrolling experience. It's very good. All right, guys, so let's go to the googlestore.com. We're going to do an internet test here. And you'll see that one went straight into the actual Google Store. So that wasn't a fair test. Let's just click one of these links. We'll see how they perform here. And that was, I think, faster on the right. We'll hit tech specs. A little faster there on the right. This is Samsung Internet versus Google Chrome, which are their base included browsers for each platform. And we'll go to compare here. And both of them did, I think that was the Pixel. They did very good there. Let's go to Samsung.com now. All right, so let's go to Samsung.com. Now, because Samsung sells more than just, phones, they have a big website. So this could take some time to load sometimes. That was faster on the left for the Pixel. And get a look at that scrolling, very quick. Get a look at that scrolling there. Very good. So I don't see any drastic differences when browsing the web on either of these two smartphones. One thing I like though about the Samsung is that they have this summarization feature within the Samsung Internet. So that's a pretty cool AI feature on board that can summarize articles. I could be missing. Do they do that on the Pixel? I'm not sure if they do that. Let me know if I'm missing that. But definitely that's browsing experience is pretty much identical on both. Geekbench scores are in for the Galaxy S24 Ultra. So the S24 Ultra has finished first with a 2157 and a 6511 on the multi-core score. Usually if the phone finishes first, it has the higher score, which I am expecting here. The Galaxy S24 Ultra I think it's lost on this benchmark to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but in reality, it doesn't really make a difference in the real world use. Let's see how the Pixel stacks up here. 1941, so a little bit behind on the single core, but in the multi-core score, it absolutely got dominated here by the S24 Ultra. So more than 2,000 points better. This is going to make a difference in the heavier use stuff. So with the Pixel, you should really be banking on the tensor being used for your AI-based stuff. If you want a very smart smartphone with very great AI experience and very great smart features, that's the Pixel. If you want a super powerful phone that does everything, gaming, some AI with the Galaxy AI, and basically everything in the kitchen sink, no compromise, that is the S24 Ultra. And of course, that'll be a similar case next year with the S25 Ultra. It's also going to have the next and latest and greatest and the best of the best. So that's how I would choose in performance between both of these. The final scores are in for the Wildlife Extreme, and it is not looking good for the Pixel here. 2515, 4274, 1506, and 25.60 on the frame rates. And I'm not trying to be biased here to one brand, but come on, dude. Like, can you not see that difference in the score? Like, that is huge. So people tend to think just because I'm very opinionated about what I'm saying here, that I'm biased to one. No, I bought both these phones. But when you see a 2515 and a 4274, it's clear which one is more powerful. It's very clear. Your score versus all devices, 53%. So that's a GPU. I'm not picking the Pixel up, like I said in my previous statement, for gaming. But I'm still picking it up over the S24 Ultra for AI more than likely. You can see this score is better than 89% of devices. This thing is close to iPad Pro M4 level performance. Okay, maybe not that good. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But gaming, this thing is a monster on the S24 Ultra. So again, like I said in my previous statement, if you want the powerhouse beast, it's the S24 Ultra. If you want an AI beast, it's the Google Pixel, and you want a great camera, it's probably going to be the Pixel over the Samsung, although that's a great camera as well. So they're pretty close, but in performance, GPU, the Samsung Snapdragon is taking the crown. So wrapping it up here, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL going with the Tensor CPU, again, makes the new screenshotting features, the Gemini, the Pixel Studio, all the AI stuff is really designed to work very well on this device. So this is a super smart smartphone, like I said before. But when we're talking about speed, we're talking about performance. So the Galaxy S24 Ultra takes the win, mostly because you've seen the benchmarks really showcase the technical performance. In the apps day to day, it was a little faster with the animations as well, due to Samsung working on their animations in the latest One UIs. I just think the Samsung is a faster phone overall. But the Pixel is a very clean Google phone, and if you want a nice Google experience, a really high-end experience, this is the best Pixel ever made, and I absolutely love it. I love its unique camera bar. I love its design. It feels premium. It looks premium. And it has some of the smartest AI features in the business. So both of these are great. But from a performance perspective, the S24 Ultra has won this objectively. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know which phone you would choose if it was for your money. The Samsung's a little more money for sure. It costs more money than the Pixel. But which one would you choose? Let me know down below in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.